the IRS could actually send you more additional relief money if you meet a few requirements to this. Congress has already allocated billions of dollars in funding towards brand new state relief programs. $500 stimulus checks are going to be sent out over the next few weeks, so be sure to watch to the end to learn how to receive this. And now, in its final 2022 filing season statistics, the IRS stated that it has processed more than 140 million individual income tax returns, including more than 96 million refunds for a total of over $282 billion, with an average refund of $3,000. 97% of the total returns have already been processed, and while that percentage makes it seem like tax season is nearly done and dusted, there is still a large number of manual tax returns that need processing and a large number of taxpayers that are still waiting the refund. However, unless you are in desperate need of a refund, the good news is that you may be owed interest on your unprocessed return. 97% of the total returns received have been processed, and while the percentage makes it seem like tax season is nearly done and dusted, there are still a large number of manual tax returns that need to be processed and a large number of taxpayers that are still waiting the refund. However, unless you are in desperate need of your refund, the good news is that you may owe interest on your unprocessed tax return. Most individuals who e-filed returns with a direct deposit refund received their payment within the 21-day processing period. However, there are still millions who are experiencing refund delays months beyond the filing date. If you do not receive your refund within 45 days of filing, the IRS is obliged to pay your interest for each additional day. Also, as of July 1st, you will be able to receive an extra 1% more. The 4% compounded daily interest has increased to 5% due to recent federal rate hikes. The IRS interest rates are based on the Fed's plus 3% points. According to experts, in 2020, almost 14 million taxpayers received interest of $18 on average. In the National Taxpayer Advocate latest report to Congress, she said the IRS has a backlog of 8.2 million tax forms, which is more than last year, and is getting processed at a slower rate. As of May 14th, the IRS had 9.8 million individual tax returns still unprocessed. This included 2.4 million returns that required error corrections and 7.4 million paper returns awaiting processing. The total also included returns received in 2021 and new 2021 returns. The IRS will handle any possible interest owed, but you can always check the status of your return on the website. Residents of New Mexico who have already gotten their several tax breaks this year will soon get another round of rebates as the state prepares to send payments totaling either $250 or $500 to households that filed their 2021 taxes. Residents who filed their 2021 taxes as individuals will get a July rebate if they earned less than $75,000 in AG.
Rise today to address the body to talk about Social Security. I'm pleased to be joined by so many of my colleagues from across the country who understand what Martin Luther King called the fierce urgency of now and why the United States Congress has to act. It's been more than 51 years since the United States Congress has enhanced the benefits of Social Security. Richard Nixon was president, and a gallon of milk cost 72 cents. Much has changed in 51 years, and now I'm proud to announce today that the Ways and Means Committee will be marking up Social Security 2100, a sacred trust, next Wednesday. And in doing so, the first time in 51 years, Congress will be moving forward to enhance benefits for those who need it the most. Why do I say that? Everybody in America knows what this pandemic, this global pandemic that we're in, has caused unbelievable harm across the globe and here in this country. But who has it affected the most? Of the close to 1 million people who have perished in the United States, over 756,000 of them are over the age of 65. And who is the group that has been hurt the most by the ensuing inflation that comes from a global pandemic and a war in the Ukraine? It is people on fixed income. It is the more than 65 million Americans that are on Social Security. I want to commend President Biden for taking the leadership in this area, who campaigned across the country assuring Americans that Social Security.
I thank Chairwoman DeLauro for yielding me the time. Mr. Chair, I rise in strong support of this bipartisan en bloc, which would eliminate funding for the VA Asset and Infrastructure Review, or AIR Commission, and transfer that $5 million to Health Care for Homeless Veterans program. Now, let me be clear. The recommendations advanced so far as part of the VA's Asset and Infrastructure Review process will lead to the closure or downsizing of nearly 1/3 of this country's VA medical facilities and community-based outpatient clinics. I believe that is unacceptable and, frankly, a rotten way to treat veterans who have put their lives on the line for this country. This entire process is a backdoor way to cut services for veterans, and I strongly urge my colleagues to support our veterans and vote yes on this amendment, which has the support of a wide range of veterans advocacy organizations from across the political spectrum. This bipartisan amendment eliminates funding for a commission that would make it harder for veterans across America to get the care they deserve. The decision to recommend shutting down these VA healthcare facilities was based on totally flawed, years-old information. There are huge and unacceptable and inexcusable gaps in the data that was used to determine which facilities to shut down. The VA did not consider cases where hundreds of millions of dollars in new investments were made in facilities that were recommended for closure. It makes absolutely no sense. Let me give you an example. One of the facilities that would be closed is the Leeds VA Medical Center in Massachusetts. They said that this facility should be closed because it needed nearly $200 million in upgrades. What they didn't say was that we already invested in those in the upgrades. $200 million in taxpayer money was already invested in this facility, and now they're recommending that it be shut down. Talk about ripping off the American taxpayer. The data that they use is from years ago. It's inexcusable, years ago. And even the VA admits this. So this is the definition of stupid. We might as well throw taxpayer money out the window if these flawed recommendations move forward. And that's not to even mention the impact this commission would have on veterans. You know, I held a listening session to hear how these recommendations would force many veterans in Massachusetts and across the country. And I have a map here, by the way. Here is the map. The yellow is partial closures. The blue is total closure.